Right behind me, I've got the 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. And if you guys are new here, my name is Jason, and I do reviews just like this here in Canada. Also, thank you to Mercedes-Benz Brampton for allowing me to review this nice looking GLS 450. As for the different models available with the GLS, here are the three that are available. And here is a list of the safety features you do get standard with the GLS 450. As for what powers the GLS 450, it has a 3-liter inline 6-turbo engine with mild hybrid drive, which makes 375 horsepower and 369 pound-foot of torque. And with the electric assist, when needed, you can get an extra 20 horsepower and an extra 148 pound-foot of torque. Towing wise with this, you're looking at about 7,700 pounds, and fuel economy is about 12.7 liters in the city and about 9.6 liters on the highway. Now this GLS 450 does have some options added to it, so I'll put them on the screen right here. So as I walk around the vehicle, you will notice all of them. All right, let's start things off in the front of this GLS 450 because there's a lot of unique features on this that definitely stand out. So over on the bumper area here, you obviously have the body color bumper, and then even these pockets here are in gloss black. And then you do have like this mini lower grille area underneath the license plate. There's also the front safety sensors. Now, like I was mentioning, you have like the lower open portion. Now, this area here is closed off, but if you look underneath there, right above the open pockets, that area opens up on the sides. So in the corner here, you have this massive area here, which also has a functional vent in there, which again will be on both of the sides. And then really you just get into the grille area. I really like what they've done with this. You've got like this black chrome look going on. If you look closely, it definitely stands out, especially this thing being in black. So even if you get a different color, this will definitely stand out. And then in the center, you've got the massive Benz logo there that also acts as a front radar. And underneath, you also have a front facing camera. And then you get into these very nice looking LED front lights. I like the LED strip right there at the top, and then you have your usual ones obviously in the center, and even in the housing, the detailing that Benz has is very, very nice. And then up on the hood area, obviously you can't forget about the usual Mercedes logo at the top as well. And taking a step back, you can see, especially the grille area with the black chrome, this stands out a lot, I think. All right, coming around to the side of the GLS here, this is a 3-row SUV if you're not familiar with these. Now taking a look at the top here, this has a full panoramic sunroof, and then over on the roof rails, you've got these in black here, and then even around your window trimming, you got the black, and then here you have the gloss black as well, which I really like. It's not the black rubber look, it's gloss black everywhere. As for the door handles, you've got the chrome and then of course the body color. For the side mirror here, you've also got this in gloss black. You got the turn signal built in, and then the side mirror camera. Now the bottom portion is in black plastic. I do wish it was kind of all just one trim piece. Now over on the sides, you do have your chrome side steps. And then as for these wheels, you've got these nice looking gloss black and aluminum wheels. It also says AMG on them. And these are your 21-inch wheels. I just like how these are designed. And if I do take a step back, you can see these wheels definitely fit the GLS. All right, now let's come around to the rear of the GLS 450 here. The nice looks definitely continue. Now over on the bumper area, again, body color, you've got some black plastic in the center there with the rear safety sensors. There's also the hitch in the middle, the reflectors on the corners, and you've got the dual exhaust on both of the corners with the chrome around them, but these are not functional. You do have the exhaust underneath. These are just for show. And then you move into the tailgate area here. So on here, you've got this strip of chrome that stretches across. You've got the GLS 450, the Mercedes logo, and then the 4MATIC all in chrome. And then are these unique looking LED rear taillights. I really like the way that these are designed. It just gives it a whole different character in the back compared to the front, and I am digging it. Now up top here, you do have kind of like this built-in spoiler area with a brake light. All right, let's go ahead and open up the tailgate here, and the button is somewhere here, right there. It is a power opening lift gate, obviously. Now all of the rows are up, so you get an idea of how much space you have back here, and honestly, it's not all that bad. You can still fit quite a few things, especially for your family road trips and whatnot. So space-wise, I think you're good. And even down here, you have these chrome protectors. This does have the blue plastic, so that's why it looks blue. And then underneath the carpet area here, if I just go ahead and lift this up here, you do have your spare tire, or you can just take this out if you don't want it and use this as extra storage. So other things back here is you do have the power seat adjustment, so you can either put them all down. Now for the second row, you have it here, and then here is the third row. Now, something I like about this is not only the third row, but also the second row seats are power folding down and back up. Usually on vehicles, you do have the second row, but it only power folds down, unlike just the third row. But here you have both of them. And also, you can raise and lower the vehicle back here, so it's easy to put groceries, bags, or whatever it is that you're putting back here. And then over here, you do have this outlet. And if you do have valuables that you want to put back here, well, you do have this cover. It is gonna come up to here, so it covers pretty much this whole section. All right, let's make our way inside of the GLS 450 and see what we have going on. So it's an all black interior, but there are bits and pieces that do stand out. So down here, you do have some space, obviously, that you can utilize. Up here, you do have the soft touch material with the contrast stitching. There's also the soft touch up here, and then this beautiful like open wood trimming, which you're gonna notice all throughout the interior. And all of the knobs and door handles, you do have them in this nice satin aluminum finish. Even the power seat adjustments, the rear seats also come heated, and you've got the Burmeister sound system in this. So even the grille on this is very uniquely designed. Also underneath here, you do have ambient lighting, and right by the door handle area. So all throughout the cabin here, you do have ambient lighting with this. If that wasn't enough for small details, well, even your lock here, you have the chrome. All right, let's check out the interior. Now, before I get into the second row, I'm gonna jump in the third row and show you the legroom, the headroom, and what you get back there, because it is pretty neat. So in order to get to the back there are no latches, which you have on like the Chevys or GMCs or anything like that. It is all just power. So there is a button right here, or a little switch thing, which you just pull up like that, and the whole seat just moves forward and adjusts. Even the driver's seat, if it's too far back, it will auto adjust as well, which is pretty cool. And then you just have access to the rear here. And here is what the back looks like. It's all soft touch material everywhere. Now, it's not like that plain looking soft touch. You do have some sort of like texture on this, which is pretty good. So it adds some life to it, I think. Now I'm gonna jump back here and show you the legroom and the headroom. All right, now to bring these seats back, I can either press or use the button up there, but it's way too far. Instead, you have your very own control right here. Now, the one thing that I wish that they did is, even if I press up to bring it back or push down to push it forward, if you notice up on there, if I push down to bring the seats up, you just press it once and the seats automatically adjust. But to bring it back down, you actually have to hold this button or that button, which I wish that they just did, where you just click it once and it just comes automatically. But hey, it is what it is. You just gotta hold it. So let me finish this and I'll show you. All right, now that the seat is back in its original position, it can be adjusted a little bit back, but still, I'll have a good amount of legroom. So let's say if it comes up to here, I still have okay legroom back here, and I'm not all that tight or squished. I wish it was captain's chairs where I can just stretch out my legs, but hey, it is what it is. And also back here for the thigh support, it is one of my favorite things on a vehicle, because this is perfectly positioned. So you're not gonna feel like you're sitting on the floor or be very uncomfortable. This is very good. Back here, I think you can fit 2 adults pretty comfortably, just the way that this whole space is set up. And in terms of the headspace, like look at how much room I have back here. I'm wearing a hat. For reference, I'm 5'11", and I have tons and tons of room back here. All right, other things back here that you'll find is a cup holder here. You have 2 USB ports, and here is the seat adjustment for the left side. And if I go to the other side, it's pretty much the same stuff. Same here, the cup holder, you've got the same controls, the USB ports. And also over on this side, you do have these controls to power fold the third row seats from this side here. But the one thing that I noticed about this is it's pretty laggy. If you press it, it takes a few seconds for the seat to actually start adjusting. So that would be my only thing, but you do have the controls if you do want to utilize those. All right, now let's move to the second row and let me show you what you get back here, and the legroom and the headroom. So as for the seats, these are identical to the third row seats. I like the soft touch material, and here's what I was talking about, the soft touch material. Like look at how unique it looks. But yeah, you do have this unique designing with the contrast stitching, so it's not that fully plain soft touch, which I like. Now over in the center here, you can pull this down, and opening this up just like that, you do have some space in here that you can definitely utilize. And like I was mentioning, the second row seats do come heated, which is a bonus. And then down here, you also have the nice Mercedes-Benz door sill piece that is lit up. Now I'm gonna jump in here and show you the legroom and the headroom. All right, so jumping inside, legroom wise, I am pretty good, and I'm sure this seat, the driver's seat, can be adjusted, but still, I'll have a good amount of legroom. And in terms of the headroom, again, just like the rear, I have tons and tons of headroom. So third row, second row, I'm comfortable. Now behind the driver and the passenger seat, you do have soft touch up here, and then you have more of the wood trimming here with the chrome, more of the ambient lighting, and then you have hard plastic here. You've got this here, which is pretty unique. This is actually a speaker built into the seat, and then you also have your storage pockets, which are on both of the seats. And over on the pillar, you do have a vent on both the sides. Now over on the rear console area, not only do you have the venting obviously, but you have your rear climate control. And then down here you do have some space that you can utilize and USB ports. And you can see over there underneath the seats, you also have more ambient lighting. All right, now let's head to the front and see what is different compared to the rear. The only thing that I can really notice up here is a little bit of a bigger area. Plus you do have your rear tailgate control here. And then everything else is pretty identical other than of course your window controls, side mirror controls. And then up here you have heated and cooled seats and then the driver memory seats. And if you're wondering what this little R button is, well, if you press this, it illuminates in red. And now you can power adjust the passenger seat as well. As for the front seats, the same designing as the third row, second row continues. However, up here, you do have the perforated middle and bottom sections, which I love. And then up here also, with the headrest, you do have this nice little pillow cushion thing, which can be extra comfortable, especially on long family road trips. And like I mentioned, the front seats come heated and ventilated. And you also have a built-in massage feature. Now down here, you have the same door sill piece, just like the rear. Underneath, you've just got these sporty, fancy looking foot pedals. And then if you look way underneath, this little red latch is for your hood latch release. And then moving up here, you have your electronic parking brake, all your exterior lighting controls, fog lights, and then the cluster dimmers. And even on the dash, you're gonna have more of the wood trimming. And I like how the vents are incorporated into the dash with the screen, which also has these chrome pieces. As for the steering wheel, this does come power adjustable. And it's also heated because you have that button on the side. All right, entering inside of the GLS, your dashboard does have a mixture of hard material, soft material, and you kind of have like this speaker grill thing going on. Now the whole thing is not a speaker, but you do have speakers within it. And this also has the heads-up display, which is one of my favorite things. And then you get into the screen. Look at how nice the screen looks. So you have your cluster area and then the touchscreen, and it's all just one massive screen setup. I'm just trying to show you from a different angle, but that's what that looks like. I think they've done a really good job integrating this within the dashboard area because it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb or anything. So on the cluster area, I am digging all of the nice details on this, just the way that they've designed this with all the graphics and just how it looks. It's very crisp and sharp. And this is a 12.3 inch cluster, and you can view a bunch of different things on this. And to control all of that, it is done through here. So I can just literally, I don't even have to press on this. It's just like a trackpad. And if I want to go into something, I can actually click into it. So you have all of this information that you can definitely utilize and have in front of you. There's also a map section, which is pretty neat. If I go back for a second and press the little home button here, you have all of this. So you can go into the navigation, for example, and you can have a full screen instead of the navigation. And let me go back. So all of these, you can have full screens, but something cool is you can actually have a different style of a cluster. So if I go into the sports section, this is what it looks like. And you also have this one here, which is understated, so nice little clean look. And then you just have the classic one, which is pretty cool. I like the sport one. I think it just adds a little bit more of that oomph to the vehicle. Now, as for the steering wheel, like I mentioned, this does come heated. You do have the soft touch material and kind of like this perforated sections on the side. Then in the center, got the massive Mercedes logo, more of the aluminum here. And then you have gloss black on each of these sections. And I like how it's like an open area at the bottom underneath. So it kind of adds a nice little sleek design to this. On the left here, you have all your cluster controls here, all your cruise control settings, follow distance, all that good stuff. Over on the other side, it's the same thing up here, but this is actually for your touchscreen on the right side. And then down here, you have your favorites, Bluetooth, volume, and then your phone controls. And if you look closely behind, you do have paddle shifters on both the sides. And behind, you do have your front and rear wiper controls, high beams, and indicators. And then on the other side, you do have your gear shifter. Now moving to the center console here, you do have soft touch material, and you have these sections, which if you just press this over here, it opens up like this. So you have a good amount of space in here that you can definitely utilize. Plus you do have a USB port. Now over on the center console, this is where things I think get a little bit nice and elegant because you do have these handles on both the sides and there is ambient lighting in here as well, which is pretty cool. Now on the center here, you do have this little control or scroll wheel thing, which is to lower and raise your vehicle. And then you have like this wrist rest area here, which if you want to use the trackpad to control the touchscreen, you can, or just touch the screen. And then you have the home, seek, and all that stuff on there. Along the side here, you have different dynamic modes. So as you can see, you have the individual there, you've got sport, comfort, eco, and then off-road. And then you have your different camera angles, you have the vehicle section here, and then you also have this here, which is actually your fingerprint scanner, which is pretty neat. The other side is your volume, nav, radio, and telephone. And let me just quickly show you the cameras before I forget. So this is what the camera system looks like on this. You have your top bird's eye view and then the rest of the cameras here. So you'll notice all these little cameras around the vehicle. So if I press any of them, I can see that angle. So the front, here is the back, the sides, both the sides. If I go to the front again, I also have a 3D one, so kind of like a fishbowl look. I can also click into the P here, which is drive forward for parking spaces. It can actually park for you. And then here, camera activated, position saved. So you have all that good stuff, so which is pretty cool. I like the camera system on this. I think it's very intuitive, especially this fishbowl looking thing. You can see a ton of angles around you. Also something cool with the reverse camera, once I do put it into reverse and I press this like panoramic view, this whole thing becomes a view of the rear, which is pretty cool. And then I can also have it of the front and then of the side as well. And if I do press the little vehicle icon here, this will bring up like your shortcut menu for all of these different things, car wash mode, heads up display, all that good stuff. And then you do have a second page as well that you can turn things on or off however you want. Now coming back down here, this whole thing is in that nice wood trimming, which I love. And opening this whole section up, you do have your front cup holders here, which are also cooled and have ambient lighting in them. You have your wireless phone charger, USB ports, all that good stuff. So a ton of stuff going on here. And then moving to this section here, you have all your heating and cooling temperature controls. And then on the center, you have these 4 sections for your vents, obviously, but these are very uniquely designed with the aluminum and then the wood trimming in the background. And then you get to the touchscreen. This is a 12.3 inch touchscreen. So on here, you can view all sorts of different information and you have multiple pages to view everything that you want about this vehicle. So on the first page here, you do have things like your navigation, phone, radio, there's media, MB apps, and then under comfort here, if I go under the massage feature, so this has the built-in massage like I was mentioning, and you can go through all of these. So whichever one that you click in, so let's say if it's this, you can also choose it for the passenger, the intensity, all that good stuff, which is pretty cool. Heading back, there's also the seat adjustments that you can make, which is pretty good. So not only from the screen, but also from the side of the doors there. Also is the ambient lighting here. And then heading back to the home page, next page here, you have your off-road section. So all the off-road necessary information will be displayed here if you do want to go through all of that. So you have the cockpit thing here, and then you also have a score here. You can start a new journey, all that good stuff, which is pretty neat. Heading back, there's also the usual info here. So consumption, vehicle, engine, and then you have your settings section, which is pretty normal on any vehicle, and you can go through all of these different sections and adjust it however you want. Heading back, and then last page, you just have your devices. So a lot of information packed into this touchscreen. Moving up top here, you just have your rear view mirror. So this is not a digital mirror or anything, and underneath you do have your garage controls. And then moving further up here, you have your interior lighting controls, your sunshade controls, and the sunroof control. SOS, the Me here, and then right here, you also have this, which is the interior sensor. Here's the key fob, and what it looks like for the GLS, it's your usual Mercedes key. All right, let's come around to the passenger side of the GLS, and let me show you the dashboard area, because you have more of that nice looking wood trimming, the ambient lighting, and then of course, your usual glove compartment space. Now for 2027, the GLS is redesigned, but those are not available yet. So let me know in the comments down below, would you go with this 2026 or wait for the 2027? There is no window sticker for this, but if you do build it out with the same features that this one has, it comes out to about $148,300 Canadian. Well, that does it for the review on this 2026 Mercedes-Benz GLS 450. Let me know in the comments down below, do you think it's worth buying?